Welcome to The Good Trapper. I will be talking about different types of traps today. I want to break down the main traps that are kind of used throughout the Northeast. First and foremost, when people usually think of trapping, they think of foothold traps. These traps are approved by veterinarians. They are designed to catch an animal by the front toes, and you can see this trap here, for example, has a slight opening to allow circulation for the animal even while they're caught. We have a couple different sizes of traps. This is an MB 550, my preferred trap for coyote as well as bobcat. It's a very strong trap. We also have an MB 650 here, a little bit of a larger trap with a larger pan size that can be used for beaver. We have a number 2 trap here, which is for coyotes, as well as this 1.5 trap, which is for fox. That can also be used for other smaller animals as well, though. How footholds work is you compress these 2 springs here on the side down, and when those are compressed down, the trap is set. There's no safety on this trap. So I will set this one here for us, and that is set right like that. So when that jaw spread here is open, that trap is set. And how it works is when an animal is coming through and they step down right there, that's when the trap fires. And we cover that trap up so the animal can't see it. And these traps, again, are approved by veterinarians to ensure that there is no harm done to the animals. The animal will come through right like this, step down on our pan right like so, and is caught and held until the trapper can come and dispatch the animal. So that's how the trap works. And these traps, foothold traps, need to be checked every 24 hours because they're live trap and they will be holding an animal. And game wardens do hold people accountable for not checking these traps on a 24-hour basis. Another way to hold trappers accountable is trappers must have what's called a trap tag secured to their trap. So here's my trap tags. I have one on every single one of these traps. I have well over 100 traps, and every single one of my traps has a tag. Those tags have name, phone number, address. I have my Most ID number on mine as well, just to show that I have an active trapping license. So that is our foothold traps, and those are typically used for coyotes, like this coyote that you see here. I did catch in this trap here, number 2. Red fox are typically caught in footholds as well. Caught this red fox in this style trap. A bobcat like this one here. This was a 35-pound bobcat that I caught. And I caught that bobcat in an MB 550, this trap here. Other animals that can be caught in these traps, fisher can be caught in them. Skunks can be caught in them. And raccoons as well can be caught in those traps. There are other animals that can be caught in them, otters for example, but most commonly caught in footholds is coyotes and red fox and bobcats. Those animals are kind of moving on the landscape for far distances, but like I said, those other furbearers can be caught as well. So now moving on, we're going to move to a different type of a foothold trap. This trap is called a dog-proof trap or a coon cuff. They are used for mainly avoiding dogs. If you're trapping in a location where you know that there are dogs present, this makes it so that dogs cannot get their foot stuck like in these traps, so you can target skunks, possums, and raccoons more primarily. And to set this, what you do is you take this, you push this down like so, you take your dog, put it down, set it right like so, and to trip it, what the animal has to do is reach down in, pull that little pin, and they'll be caught. But they do work really well for targeting raccoons specifically, animals that can really be very dexterous with their hands. And he'll trip that pin and it'll fire and his hand will be stuck right there. And again, primarily possums for those, and our raccoon. And again, those are fitted with our trap tags and must be checked every 24 hours. Next, moving down the line here, we have our conibear traps. You can see I have several different sizes. This trap and this trap here at the back are both 330s. This is a Belial 330, which is the most highly rated 330 trap, most effective and humane trap. This is a Duke 330. These two traps are primarily for beaver and otter. Otter is one of my favorite animals to trap, and these 330s here are great for targeting otters. Another trap that's very commonly used for otters specifically is the 220. 220 traps are great for otters because otters are typically in locations where there's tight little travel ways, and a 220 trap typically fits perfectly in those otter travel ways. And this is a Belial 220. Moving down here, we have a 160 conibear. 160 conibears are a phenomenal trap. They can be used for otter, but I primarily use them for fisher in the Northeast. Great trap, and fisher pelts are a beautiful fur, as you can see. And I use these 160s primarily in the Northeast here. And moving down, we have a 110 conibear. 110 conibear is most commonly used for muskrat. Like this muskrat here, this is a large muskrat. Muskrat fur is another great fur. But how a conibear works is this is the trap almost fully set here, and what happens is you have your safeties here. You take your safeties off like so, and that trap is ready to fire. And what you have two springs here on each side that are fully loaded and compressed, and when those springs fire out, that's the trap closing. So I'll demonstrate here. I'll use one of my other traps here to trip it, and so that animal will be swimming through like so and get popped right there, and that will close down and humanely dispatch the animal. And you can see my dog-proof trap is securely stuck in there. So that is how the conibear works. Conibear is a killer type trap. Depending on what you're targeting, there's different check periods for conibears because the animal will be deceased when you show up. Lastly here, I have an example of a live cage trap. This live cage trap is a Comstock trap. I use it for bobcat. This is a trap that needs to be checked every 24 hours and we'll be holding the animal within it. So for this cage trap, the animal will walk within it, and there is wire here on the inside that when the animal hits that wire, the front door of the trap shut, just like so. And the animal will be caught and will be restrained there for you to check it. Again, this does have trap tags on the top of it, and yeah, so if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. The goal of this channel is to just get more people interested in trapping and understanding it. I myself am a first-generation trapper and tried to learn it all on my own. It's very difficult, so feel free to ask me any questions, and thanks for watching.